What up, though? Your boy Meech, aka the Siage Saint. Hope everyone's doing well. Time for another fragrance video, and today we are going to do a much anticipated first impressions review. I say much anticipated for me personally because I couldn't wait to record content on this fragrance. I recently received a 10 ml decan of it. It is a fragrance that is already taking FragCon by storm in the short time that it has been out. Today, we are going to do a first impressions review on the brand new Dior Homme Parfum 2025. And this has been the talk of FragCon already. I've seen a couple of reviews out on the fragrance. I've seen commentary in a number of fragrance groups that I'm in online. Most people not happy with the fact that Dior has reformulated such a beloved fragrance. The original version of Dior Homme Parfum by many is considered a masterpiece, a 10 out of 10 fragrance. Count me in that group of many that agree with that. It is a fantastic fragrance. I've smelled the OG. I have a clone of the OG as well, Gary's Den Le Parfum, and that's my favorite clone fragrance in my collection. I absolutely love the fragrance. But today, we are going to talk about the 2025 version of Dior Homme Parfum. For those that don't know, the perfumer for this fragrance is master perfumer Mason Francis Kirkjohn. Of course, if you're familiar with that name or haven't heard that name before, he has perfumed the likes of some JPG Le Male fragrances, of course, Baccarat Rouge 540, Grand Soir, a lot of bangers. But he has recently joined the Dior family. He did the Dior Sauvage Eau Forte fragrance, which was kind of a dud. I did not think that fragrance smelled good at all. It was a water-based fragrance, which is very unique, kind of had like this milky type of color. I've smelled it, I think, in Ulta before, and I was just not impressed. And I think that's the consensus from most people who smelled it. They just really weren't impressed with that. I know a handful of content creators who say they like it. Count me not in that group. But Mason Francis Kirkjohn has reformulated Dior Homme Parfum. I'm going to give you guys my honest thoughts on the fragrance. We're going to talk about the note breakdown, the scent profile. This is really just a first impressions review. I'll rate it. Later down the road, we will do a full review where I talk about, the wearing experience, sillage, performance, all of that good stuff. But this is strictly going to be first impressions on Dior Homme 2025. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so the note breakdown for Dior Homme Parfum 2025 is really very simplistic. There are just 4 notes listed on Fragrantica. Your top note is iris, your mid note is amber, and the base notes are patchouli and vetiver. So I have the fragrance here. I have a handy dandy tester strip here. We're going to spray this fragrance on. Full disclosure, I have smelled this. I've done a little bit of testing, but again, no full wearings yet where I can give kind of a detailed breakdown on performance. So I'm strictly rating this on scent profile, but let's go ahead and give it a few sprays. All right, so in the air, it smells good. Now, there are definitely some parallels with Dior Homme Parfum 2025 and some other fragrances that you may have smelled. First things first, the iris in this fragrance, I actually really like. It is not the lipstick makeup bag iris that you may be familiar with Dior Homme Parfum or even Dior Homme Intense. It has a little bit of that, but it is more of kind of a fresher iris with a little tad of like the lipstick makeup bag vibe, if that makes sense. Well, I guess I take that back. Now I'm smelling this on the tester strip. It is a bit lipstick makeup baggy for sure, but also a bit fresh. It kind of reminds you of the iris that you may have smelled in fragrances like Armani Code Parfum specifically, maybe a little bit of like Le Male by Jean-Paul Gaultier, Le Male Le Parfum. It kind of has a little bit of that style of iris. But as this fragrance continues to progress, you really get the iris and the amber. That really is what stands out to my nose at open. As this begins to dry down, you do get some of that patchouli and it is kind of like chocolatey. It does give the fragrance kind of like a chocolate type of vibe, and then you get a little bit of that woody backbone from the vetiver. I'm going to tell you what this fragrance smells like. I don't know if it's the combination of the amber and the iris that kind of gives the fragrance like almost like a fruity type of sweetness. But this fragrance actually has a lot of the characteristics of Ultra Male by Jean Paul Gaultier, or even a fragrance like Afnan's 9 p.m., which is a popular Ultra Male clone. It has like this sweetness at the top that definitely reminds me of that fragrance. It's very, I don't know how they get there, because, you know, if you look at the note breakdown for like Ultra Male or even Afnan 9 p.m., you know, you got apple, I think pear is in the Ultra Male. So you have some fruit accords in there to give you that DNA. Dior Homme 2025 does not list any fruit notes, but you do get like this sweet, fruity type of vibe with the fragrance. All right, so I like this fragrance. First of all, I am a flag bearer for iris fragrances. Iris is my favorite note in perfumery. Vanilla is up there too. I'm like 1A, 1B, iris, vanilla, depending on the day. It may flip-flop, but I love iris. And I feel like if you are a fan of iris fragrances, you definitely need to try this. I've seen a lot of people online compare this to Armani Code. I don't think this is nearly as woody as Armani Code Parfum. Armani Code Parfum I own. You do get that iris, but it is very like woody as it dries down. This is very kind of amber dominant to me. Iris, amber, chocolatey, patchouli. The woodiness is there, but it is not as prominent in my opinion. I actually like this. I know some people have already said disappointment. I think some of them are not looking at it with a clear lens because they love the original version of Dior Homme Parfum so much, and I do too. But as somebody who is not as beholden to that fragrance, I hold it in high regard. It is a masterpiece, but I can look at this objectively for what it is and say this is a solid fragrance. Now, would I pay $160, $180 for it? I probably wouldn't, but I definitely feel like, for me personally, this is full bottle worthy because I love iris. I would absolutely buy a bottle of this. I like the way this smells. If I was giving this a rating right now, I'm going to give Dior Homme Parfum 2025 an 8.5 out of 10. I really like this. It gives me those Ultra Male vibes, 9 p.m. by Afnan vibes, but that sweetness is not as in your face as those fragrances. Man, this smells nice. I need a full bottle of this. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I might be in the minority because, again, people love the original Dior Homme Parfum, but this is a solid release. It doesn't reinvent the wheel. It doesn't do anything spectacular. It's just a nice smelling amber, iris, patchouli based fragrance. So 8.5 out of 10 for the new Dior Homme Parfum 2025. Have you gotten your nose on this fragrance? If so, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Feel free to throw those in the comment section. Be sure to check out my social media for more. Please like, subscribe on whatever social media platform you're watching this on. That would be greatly appreciated. Once again, your boy Meech, aka the Sillage Saint. Until next time, take care. Peace.